So we got a really great race today. We've got the #1 world champion, Smoggy, going up against Primorix, the #3. This race should be very high.
Yeah, these are two very good runners. They know exactly what they're doing and how to do it. And we should definitely see at least a sub 50 from both of them today.
This is going to be a great highlight of pretty much every single trick that you're going to pull in this game. From the basics of Leap of Faith, to Beetle 1, to Bubble Wrap. I mean, all the stops are going to be pulled out in this race. The one who wins with how close these times are is the person that just executes everything flawlessly today.
Right.
Could be a final before the hour, to be honest.
Now, I do know that Smoggy was practicing the flare route as of late, but I think he's going to stick with the orb route today.
Yeah, most likely.
Stick with what you know. Don't be crazy like me.
Well, that's what you know.
Well, if you were paying attention to the runs from yesterday, Smoggy was pulling times that were still sub 45 with the flare.
He actually got a sub 44.
That's right. Yeah, he's a, less than 30 seconds off the world record with flare.
Yeah. Now you have to make a comeback, Engage.
Yeah, I gotta start doing that thing.
Engage being one of the primary runners of flare route in the community. Now, for those of you of us who are less familiar with the flare route, from my knowledge, flare route seems like you're trading movement tech for boss damage.
Right.
That being said, Flare Wand is better at movement tech, while Chaos Orb is better at boss damage.
The Flare one is also a lot cheaper too, at least the way the route works for Flare one.
Right.
That is correct. If I remember right, you pick it up for 1,000 gold at Primorix Keep.
Yep.
Yeah.
Versus the 2,500 gold, aka 1,500 more, to buy the Chaos Orb in the village after Primorix Keep, typically.
So yeah, the race should start pretty soon.
So for those of you just joining us today, you're going to see a treat of Shovel Knight races today.
Yeah.
But as for that, we'll be your commentators today. I'm Kiyu Ketsuki.
I am
It's
engaged.
bloody rare. Ooh, at the same time.
And I'm joined by Engage and Explode Your Ear.
Hopefully today you won't lose any here, so we should be fine. Ow. So yeah, definitely the highest and closest match of the tournament so far, so should be a great show.
We're just about to begin, so good luck to the runners.
Good luck, guys.
And have fun. Oh wait, no. There's a tournament. Don't have fun. you win or you lose.
For chivalry.
So you have fun. The chivalry is all about fun anyway. And they're off.
Now, Plains is primarily all about shovel movement. You don't have any sub-weapons to work with in this stage. So it's all about trying to gather up as much gold as possible while going as fast as you can. The first trick that you'll see them doing is called shovel canceling, which is basically using a jump and attack input near simultaneously to cause yourself to not lose any speed while still attacking. Both runners are approaching the first trick of the game, which is called Leap of Faith. This involves basically getting the right momentum going onto this platform so you can make it in one cycle. Both runners get it.
Yes.
Now, that trick everyone says is free, but it really isn't. It's all about having this right amount of momentum going off onto that platform.
And you gotta jump at the right spot.
Yeah, true.
See, that's a bit of tech that I actually very much enjoy, using that beetle pogo to really speed yourself up. And they're going through the dirt pile room very, very cleanly. That's another main point you can see a difference between newer runners and more experienced runners, is how fast they make it through that dirt pile room.
Yeah, typically, if you're not down on your shovel tech, typically what you want to do is you just want to hit those first two blocks. Just two ground springs, which it's interesting to note that you can't swing your shovel while moving unless you're in the air.
Both runners are going for the new level wrap.
Primorix is going for an optimal one.
And
Both runners
did
get
it.
Opting to get the 200, so they are now even again.
Yeah, Primorix. I noticed Primorix actually hits the breaks the wall there after getting the bubble wrap for the extra gold.
Yeah.
Ooh,
Primorix missing the quick kill.
he gets it back though.
So, Engage, could you explain that quick kill for some of the new people in the chat?
All right, so basically what happens is Black Knight has certain damage frames. His damage frames are long enough in which you can hit him again and again with the right timing. This will prevent him from taking any other action, and you'll be able to kill him pretty quickly. We'll see it again later in the game, but later in the game, the amount of damage frames Black Knight will have is considerably smaller, and it'll be more difficult to get the Sunlock on him.
So, both runners are now entering Primorix, home of King Knight. The first trick that they're going for is something called Gentle Hop. Could you explain that, Explod?
Oh, definitely. So the way you get Gentle Hop is that you want to jump at the transition and slash at the same time, and attack at the same time. The trick is that you have to jump at a certain 8 while keeping the jump button pressed, and keep the attack button pressed too. That way you get some extra 8, and you can make the jump to the platform, which Smoggy actually missed, and Primorix got. So
That was a couple rooms ago with the first showing of the lava pots, which Smoggy took the backup damage boost to get through.
which is 2 seconds slower than getting the Gentle Hop.
Now, if you're taking the flare route, you see that little indent on the wall to the other side. That's how you would have gotten back up to the flare wand. But both of these runners are using the Chaos Orb route today.
Which makes Engage really sad.
See, this is also another trick that I like to cover, is the skip with a Phoenix there. It's a little bit more tricky to understand for a lot of new runners. And it's all about using an attack input and then getting an immediate pogo to get over that Phoenix. This tech is used later on during the King Knight quick kill. Now in the pot rooms, it's all about setting up the right cycle. You get a good cycle, including a good rat bounce, you can completely get out of that room, I would say about a half second faster.
Damage boost for the second Griffin. And now both runners are going to be heading into the King Knight fight. And we're going to see both runners here utilize the ceiling to get some extra hits in on King Knight. And looks like both runners, well, Smoggy got the quick kill, but Primorix took a few extra hits to take him down.
He got hit by when he was doing the second wave of Shovel cancels.
Okay.
Yes, but looking at their timers, they're less than a second apart right now. Proving once again how good these runners are.
Right.
Yeah. So while they buy the Chaos Orb, let's have some background out of those runners. So Primorix is another runner than Smoggy, clearly, but he's third place with a 44-25 right now with the Chaos Orb route. In the meantime, we have Smoggy, which is a bit more recent. He came into the scene like a bit more than a year ago now, and has world record and with a 43-19. So there's actually a big margin between the two runners. But
he actually has the world record in all the categories. All the Shovel Knight categories.
Yeah. And also has a 43-15 with the Flare Run route, which is the best known time for Flare Run 1-2. So yeah, he's going pretty hard on Shovel Knight.
He's affectionately known as Mr. Shovel Knight in the Discord too.
But will Mr. Shovel Knight go through Primorix without any problem? That's a question we need to answer today. So let's see.
All it takes is one mistake and the tide of the race can turn in either runner's favor.
Definitely.
Both of these runners also got the new tech of Frog Skip there, which allows you to get up, what would you say, 3 seconds faster?
Like about 2 seconds faster.
Basically, it involves damaging the frog. The frog will jump, and then you pogo off the frog to get immediately up. In my opinion,
Go ahead.
In my opinion, Lich Art is all about cleanliness of movement. The more precise you are with your movement, the faster you can run that. Also, if you get good frog RNG.
Yeah, too.
Yeah, these frogs are a real pain in the butt.
It's kind of the first form of RNG you see in the game. They will
the
jump at
you.
you.
You have the proper rats that can be a bit RNG too.
Yeah, but they're nowhere near as bad as the frogs.
Yeah. It's not a big deal compared to the frog, clearly.
You can adjust your rats a little bit better.
Yeah.
Like Smoggy broke the checkpoint there.
Yeah.
Which actually for more inexperienced runners would be quite dangerous because of this dark room. It is nearly impossible to see in this room.
Yeah, knowing the thunder is also random, so you don't know when it's gonna hit.
He also swag breaks a checkpoint right before Spectre.
So Spectre Knight, you'll see that he teleports around the screen. His first teleport will be telegraphed. He will always go to the lower left there. But his second teleport is actually pretty random. He will either go to the lower left or the lower right. And fortunately, Smoggy got the good luck there with Spectre Knight. And it looks like Primorix, he may have gotten some bad luck somewhere. He may have gotten hit.
Bad luck. No, he got bad luck. He went bottom
okay.
left, bottom right. Which is very unfortunate that Smoggy got good RNG and Primorix bad RNG because it's actually well, if you optimize it, the difference is 3 seconds. But yeah, Primorix was not able to push Spectre Knight back, so he lost way more time than optimal backup, let's say.
After defeating Spectre Knight, both runners are entering the Dream Stage. For these high quality runners, they don't need any of the extra gold pretty much from these enemies. They try and grab a little bit, but enemies killed in the Dream Space get double the amount of gold that they normally would. But both runners are trying to die as quick as possible by letting the skeletons raise up their swords so they do a full heart of damage as opposed to half, and then die directly underneath Shield Pick to save some time.
Entering Lost City now.
Lost City has. Go ahead.
Now, if you're a newer runner and you're planning on getting some health upgrades, there is actually a free health upgrade in the red chest that both runners have chosen to skip. These runners will be completing a 4 health Conjurer's Coat run, and that extra health might be helpful for newer players in the game.
And now we're going to see both runners go for one of the first major skips in the game, called the Beetle Skip. Basically what happens is, you see that little birder enemy, that little blue guy there. We approach this platform here. Ooh, Primorix taking the death there. But what happens there is that we manipulate that birder enemy there to... Smoggy. Wow,
It's gonna cost more to Primorix though.
Yeah.
Got the death at the checkpoint.
Yeah, unfortunately, Primorix died in a spot where it was impossible to recover his gold.
Speaking a bit about the Beetle Skip, that was invented by another community member named Munchakoopas. So whenever you have to try and pull off Beetle 1, just remember blame Munchakoopas.
There was actually very early on in the speedrunning route, I actually came up with the first version of the Beetle Skip, which involved using the phase locket, but we got rid of that as soon as more efficient routes became available.
The phase locket is the item that you can pick up in the Lich Yard, which is Spectre Knight's area, but these runners did not grab that.
Yeah, we don't really need it anymore.
So very surprising decision from Primorix to not go for a second try Beetle Skip. He probably doesn't know that Smoggy died too, but yeah, it's gonna cost him a lot there.
Now, did Primorix leave the stage after dying to Beetle Skip?
Yeah, it did.
That's a very important point that we should bring up. When you leave a stage, you regain all the gold that you may have lost in the stage upon starting it, but you have to redo the stage. In the case of Beetle 1 fails, allows you basically to restart the stage without losing any gold, since you're going to have to restart the stage from fresh anyway.
Right.
Yeah, and Smoggy just got Beetle 2 without any problem.
Beetle 2 is a much easier skip, and it's one that even I've actually started working into my rotation as of late.
It's way easier, but it's way riskier too, because most of the time you're gonna break that checkpoint just before it, so... Very good kill from Smoggy there, Normal Knight.
Yeah, we see the full potential of the Chaos Orbs there, which these projectiles go through most enemies, and they do not stop. They will continue bouncing around and until they disappear after a few seconds. Very efficient for killing bosses.
Yeah.
Especially ones like Mole and Bowler, which you can use to get a lot of hits in on those bosses.
Right. And Primorix gets the Beetle 2 skip.
Yeah. What's funny about the Chaos Orb is that the speed movement when it hits a ceiling or a wall is pretty much the same as Mole Knight sliding on the ground too.
Well, with Smoggy entering Exploratorium, I think this is a great time to talk about Global Cycle. In this game, there are certain things that follow a global cycle. That meaning they start figuring out their pattern from the point that you enter the stage. In this case, it's these vats here. These vats will be on a set cycle from the point you enter the stage. So you want to try and complete the stage as cleanly and as quickly as possible. So that way you can get the ideal pattern.
Right. If you saw what Smoggy was doing at the beginning of the stage, you basically have to move exactly like that throughout the first screens of the stage in order to make the optimal pot cycle.
The funny thing is, this is a more of a trivia fact, is this particular global cycle takes event in the later stage as well, with the vats in the tower.
Yeah.
Although that is less important for you to hit the global cycles with that.
Yeah, there isn't much to the other global cycles. It's like Primorix.
The cycle there. Yeah.
Yeah, he got hit by the rat.
Smoggy also getting early firebar. That's actually a good time save as well. You're going for a ladder skip down.
And he got a very good cycle afterwards too. So.
Ladder skip basically.
The alchemist, he still got a very good cycle on the fire there.
Smoggy going for ice climbers and gets the ideal. Basically what he did is he pogoed the enemy right before transitioning the screen. That way his momentum carried him up so he could dust knuckle the dirt block above him, skipping that entire section.
And getting the alchemist damage boost there too, very nice.
Just going into this fight with 1.5 health.
Yeah,
that may be a little risky, considering this particular boss who likes to jump around like a madman.
Well, Smoggy is known to say that Plague Knight 1.5 is free, so especially when you get the RNG underside.
Yeah, he was able to time his orb throws so that when Plague Knight summoned his vats, the orbs just bounced back and forth between the vats, causing massive damage to Plague Knight.
Well, since Primorix just got ladder skip as well, I'll talk about that tech a little bit. Basically, the way it works is the engine renders basically the entire stage loads all at once whenever you're playing this game. Which means that if you're on a ladder, the game thinks, okay, he's on this ladder, which means he must be on the screen, which allows you to make that ladder skip there. Because you hop on the ladder by holding up in the approximate XY direction of where it would be. This automatically transitions the screen, allows you to make that skip.
And we just saw Smoggy pick up the Condor's Coat and the Charge Slash. The Condor's Coat, while it does give you extra magic, you will take an extra half heart of damage, which particularly later on can be detrimental, because there are certain strats you need to do which involve taking a damage boost.
Now the thing is, taking the Conjurer's Coat early, especially if you're a newer runner, before going into Dire Whale is actually a very, very dangerous idea. Not only does the stage deal a lot of damage to you, but the final boss of the stage is Treasure Knight, and Treasure Knight does a full health of damage for pretty much all of his attack. When in doubt, you're better off trying to collide with Treasure Knight's body so you take a half heart of damage. Normally, a full heart if you have the Conjurer's Coat. Got Smoggy entering into 420 fish.
Yeah, we call him 420 fish because, well, as you might see here in a second, he likes to be very high all the time. Not to mention the fact that he likes to move around incessantly, which actually makes killing them slightly more difficult, especially if you're going for a one cycle, which Smoggy was able to do there.
Smoggy showing off a great dirt skip by shoveling in the dirt pile and then pogoing immediately off of it to catch the ladder. You can save a lot of time doing it.
Yeah, but you only get one shot at it, because if you do miss it and you destroy the block, it won't respawn.
And that because of the way that dirt piles behave in this game. Once you collect the gold from it, anything that dirt piles that do not have gold in it will respawn, but any pile that only has gold in it will never respawn.
Right.
Really go for... Oh my god. He's going to Treasure Knight with 1.5 health.
You better get good RNG on Treasure Knight then.
If he gets hit by the attack of Treasure, it's a one-shot there.
It is a one-shot, but the thing is he still has a very close checkpoint to Treasure.
Yeah.
Yeah. But really nice thing.
It's good RNG.
So from now on, what I'm gonna do is like I'm gonna take the time to kill bosses and try to see the difference between both runners, so we can have an approximate of the time difference.
So that was 21:17 for Smoggy.
I actually see 2017. I saw 2108. Oh well. Primorix deciding to not go for Encore 3, which is surprising from him.
I think he was going for the backup for Anchor 2. He just got a bad pattern from the enemy there.
That particular mage, you can pogo the projectiles from it to completely skip that anchor room. It's a really neat tech, but it's not always reliable.
He's getting good RNG there.
Very nice.
22-27. So there is 1 minute and 20 seconds difference between the two of them.
Which, to be completely honest, is still very close.
Yeah. We'll need a couple of deaths from Smoggy to come back though.
Problem is Smoggy's consistency. It is on point to a legendary degree.
But hey,
look, as long as Jawa still exists in this game, you know,
yeah,
it
I
is
was gonna
possible.
say. I mean, you can die 10 times to the Jawas. It's a possibility. Most unlikely, but you know.
What we were talking about our Jawas was that green enemy that you saw in a couple of rooms ago. It basically has a pattern where it has a random amount of time before it decides it wants to try and blow you off a platform. With certain bad RNG segments, certain rooms become nigh impossible. At least to do quickly.
And Smoggy here picking up one of the most useful relics in the game, the Propeller Dagger. Using this relic will... It's basically a dash, pretty much. You get propelled forward, and I think each dash saves like, what, like half second to a second, maybe?
Smoggy says it's a full half second every time you use it correctly. Sorry, not Smoggy, Munchum.
Okay. And here we see the...
You got that RNG.
yeah, those Jawas, they did not treat him kindly in that room.
Yeah,
But he did not die.
Yeah.
but they still lost time. Not enough for Primorix to come back, but hey, it's still there.
Now the big important thing about is just how important this dagger is. With how much time you can see that it has a potential savings of, that it can set you up with a lot of time save.
Notice Primorix was going for the boat skip there, but it looks like he kind of misjudged his last pogo. He kind of hesitated a little bit, and he wasn't able to land on the platform on the next screen there.
Some other reasons about why the propeller dagger is so important. It costs 4 magic every time you use it. And this is the main reason that the runners get Conjurer's Coat in this run, is to have as much magic as quickly possible to take full advantage of this time saved from the dagger.
Good room from Primorix for the Jawa. Very nice.
And now we have the Propeller Knight boss fight for Smoggy. He does get perfectly.
Very nice.
Quick kill from that, and so I don't miscredit it from now on. That tech was corrected. It's from Muncha, so first discovered by Muncha.
Well, the hits part came from Muncha. The actual use of the propeller dagger to get the quick kill was actually from another runner, the name of Bustawolf. He used to run this game a long time ago, and he was the one who that quick kill there was basically the reason we don't use anchors in the any percent route anymore.
Yeah, I remember learning this game initially based off of the old AGDQ, I believe that was 2015 route, which still used anchors.
Yeah, that was from the one who ran that at AGDQ was Captain Drake.
Primorix gets it too.
Propeller Knight is definitely one of those bosses where if you get the quick kill, it, in my opinion, should put a sigh of relief in your chest. Because that fight can go bad in a hurry.
So Primorix actually catch up 5 seconds from that stage, so he made a small comeback.
Yes, Encores, which would be the blue chest that 420 fish drops. You can get it from there in Iron Whale. It's no longer used in the route anymore.
Could be funny to see someone go for Anchor route and not grabbing Chaos Sphere or the Play One.
Yeah, but at that point you'd lose so much time from the bosses before then.
Yeah.
That's true. We still be
Anchor-
funny though.
Sorry, go ahead.
Smoggy actually managed to get a big magic drop in Tinker Knight stage, which allowed him to do a couple of extra daggers that allowed him to speed up the stage a bit.
Well, if that's the case, then I feel good for Primorix, because for anybody who's in my luck camp, anytime you see a random bit magic drop, your run is cursed.
Yeah, this is going to be a bit hard for Primorix to catch up sometime here, especially with the big magic drop from Smoggy. They still
No.
fight though.
The gear has two primary purposes. One is going across the spike rooms, as seen on Primorix's screen. The other is causing Tinker Knight's demise in Phase 1. Let's just say he's not good against good engineering.
Primorix deciding to take the thing safely and actually got the checkpoint that we usually skip. Oh, you're getting a good kill. Very nice.
Yeah, you can kind of blame me for that particular quick kill there.
Yeah.
I do.
Applying the knuckles on Tinker's hitbox there, followed by a pogo, followed by throwing a gear, which little trivia here, throwing a gear that's been set down, if it hits one of the bosses, it actually does a full unit of damage. And we actually employ this for certain boss fights.
I actually didn't pay attention to the time Muggy got on the kill, but he Primorix will lose time, definitely. So Smuggy forgetting to throw the gear to reset the stage. Well, the stage. The room.
Yeah, in Polar Knight stage, magic use is actually very important here because you will be daggering pretty much every screen you're in, and if you mess up a particular dagger, you'll be forced to be you'll be forced to walk through certain rooms, and it'll waste time.
So why I was laughing is the fact that Primorix missed the first part of the fight, so he went short on damage, but was still able to pull off 3 sets of dust knuckles on Tinker Knight head at the end, which is very impressive actually. So very nicely done from Primorix there. Smuggy in a bit of a danger zone there with that 1 health, so he has to be extra careful. If any hit is gonna kill him. And yeah.
You might think he'd be in danger in this long. Oh no, never mind. He's going for the newer version. Ooh, just barely makes it too.
Yeah, he was very low on the last one. It took the health, so now should be a pretty safe fight. And messed up a bit at the end of the fight, but it was still a very good fight.
I mean, another main point to bring up about a stranded ship is how far the health refills are from each other. So every point of damage is actually quite dangerous.
Yeah, and considering there is one you don't want to take because it's like really far from your path, you basically have one and it's at the end. Basically.
Yeah, you pretty much need every point of health to get through all these damage boosts in the stage.
So Primorix went extra safe again, where all those Vikings throwing hammers. He actually made the platform go at the top of this of the room to kill all of them instead of just pushing the statue at the bottom and dodge them.
Yeah. He also took the safe route through the long spike room there by just simply riding the gears all the way through.
I approve of these strats.
Very good kill from Primorix, though.
I think I was having a discussion the other day with you, Explode, about the use of Bifrost in that hammer room, and how little time you save by going for the quicker route.
Yeah, I don't remember what we were talking about though, but yeah.
So I think you save exactly like 2 seconds by taking the higher route, which is far safer than going the lower route.
It saves time. It's yeah. I don't think it was with me though. Probably with someone else. I don't remember. Oh well, whatever.
Oh well,
So,
we have Smoggy
yeah.
entering Tower 1, so.
which is pretty much a hype stage of the run.
Basically how well you can train together all of your shelf weapons in the most ideal fashion.
Yeah, you basically need to use everything you have in the best efficient way possible without losing any time. And so the previous stage, Primorix actually lost around 6 seconds. So yeah, now Smoggy is 1 minute and 21 seconds ahead of Primorix.
That was a great backup of the gear usage there during that rat room.
Yeah.
Basically, it gives you just enough height to try and get up to that ladder, so.
So let's see if Smoggy gets the Black Knight stun lock.
Good.
Very good.
And there you go.
Very nice. So I guess you wanted to explain why it's harder, Engage.
Yeah, as I explained before, Black Knight has fewer damage frames in which you can hit him in between. So he'll come out of it faster, and if he manages to break the stun lock, he can do a whole bunch of nasty things, like fly around the screen, summon meteors, all that nasty stuff.
It's definitely a fight where the quick kill will save you a good minute most of the time.
Alright.
It's also a very dangerous fight if you don't get the quick kill.
Primorix got a really good stage.
We'll see if Primorix can get the quick kill here. I've noticed from Primorix that he tends to have a little problem getting the stun lock on Black Knight 3, but we'll see what happens here. Yeah, he lost it.
But he gets a backup and he gets good RNG with Black Knight taking off, so.
Yeah.
Well, technically you can choose a side where he's gonna take off. If he's just going the opposite side you are. So if you're on his left, he's gonna go right, and if you're on his right, he's gonna go left.
The funny thing about Tower 2, which both of these players are in now, is it's the shortest stage in the game, actually, outside of the boss rush. So we're not including the boss rush. It is a very short stage. But it shows off a piece of tech that we didn't get to cover during Lost City, which is blocks typically only exist on the top of the screen if they're fully loaded in. Which means you can jump over most of these blocks in this auto-scroller and be on top of them.
Which is very funny to do, but not suggested if you have Conjurer's Code and you are a new runner too.
Or you don't know where the blocks are going to spawn.
And there's also the fact that the rats will still spawn too, so you can get hit by them.
That is true. If you got it memorized though where the rats are, it does make that routing of the auto-scroller much safer. If you can time your jumps correctly.
So before Tower 2, there was a 130 difference between Primorix and Smoggy.
I guess the other thing we didn't talk about right before the auto-scroller of Tower 2 is that particular job.
So Smoggy's at the boss rush now. He got King Knight first, and unfortunately he got some bad luck. He took a hit.
We can't really speak about bad luck, the fight is always the same.
And he gets Tinker Knight's second here. We'll see if he can. Oh, he doesn't manage to get the quick kill.
I feel like he swapped to mobile gear too soon. Oh, he falls
Oh,
off.
and he falls off again.
That's gonna cost him a lot of time. Let me drop it again.
No, he took a damage
Oh,
boost to get back up.
yeah.
He jumped off the gear. So now I think he's gonna take it safe here.
He lost a lot of mana too.
Yeah. Yeah, mana management is kind of important here, even though with every other dinner plate that pops up here, there will be a magic drop.
Yes, but you would agree though that magic is important on actually 5 of the bosses. You need some for
Yeah.
Tinker 1. Polar, it's ideal to have as much as you can. Treasure,
Same with-
for the same reason, and same with Mole.
And Plague.
And then Plague, because
Yeah.
Plague is Plague.
Getting a really good perspective kill there for Smoggy.
I mean, the 3 fights that you really don't need that much mana on are going to be your King, your Propeller.
You shouldn't have to use any magic.
Spectre.
on Propeller.
Yeah.
Well, you're going for the quick kill with the daggers.
Yeah.
If you don't get the ideal setup of the shovel hits.
Very nice Propeller. Problem is getting played very early though.
Takes him
Very nice
down.
small fight. And now Plague last.
Or he is the
Very
true
good.
final boss.
That's yeah. He's gonna go.
Oh,
Ooh.
alright. Alright.
He
A little
got
scary
through.
there for a second, but he managed to get through.
Not very nice, but
Now the
yeah.
question is, will Smoggy obey the memes and save King?
He does.
Yes, he does.
Not optimally though, but he does.
So that's a little meme in our community here, in which if King happens to be the first fight in the boss rush, he will always be at the top when you know, they're pulling each other up from the pit there, and we'll always save King first. In fact, saving the first night after the boss rush actually doesn't cost any time.
Since you're ideally leaving the stage with several Pellet Daggers. But yes, if you're in the chat, now would be the time to spam Best Knight L and Best Knight R, for those of you who use FFC.
Yeah, Primorix had a really hard time with Proper. Was still able to finish it off underground, but and he's just finished the boss rush too.
Now
And
we'll
he did
see,
really catch up some time, but it's a bit late, sadly.
because Primorix or Smoggy here gets the Enchantress 1 quick kill, which involves the precise use of Chaos Orbs and the gear and the Charge Slash.
I want to commend everyone who's celebrating the greatness of King Knight in chat. So, well, we got Smoggy entering Enchantress too.
And time will be coming up here after Smoggy gets the last hit on Enchantress 2. Very nice use of the knuckles there.
Yeah.
And GG for Smoggy.
Finishing with 44-16.
A 44-18 in the SRL channel.
Yeah, but
Dot done is dot done.
that's true.
A very solid race.
Ooh, Primorix,
still got it.
unfortunately.
But he still gets Enchantress before she goes underneath the stage, which still saves a ton of time.
Yeah.
I was way half full of the platform.
Enchantress 1 is a far more difficult fight, in my opinion, than Enchantress 2, especially for newer runners.
Yeah, it's all about the dive. If you don't manage to get the quick kill on anyone, she will dive up and down all over the place until she eventually gets to the bottom of the screen.
Ooh, Primorix fall off of E2. Still gonna kill her, bro. Very nice.
Yeah. 45-40 for Primorix.
Still a very, very respectable time.
Yeah.
Oh, yeah, dude.
Any time below a sub-hour in my book is a very good time in this game.
Yeah.
Something you should be proud of.
To explain how good it is, it's still the 7th place in the rankings, so yeah, it's a really good time.
We'll put it this way. Comparing to the general public, the achievement on the Steam achievement page is to beat the game in 1 hour and 30 minutes, based off of in-game time. It's a very impressive run for those of us in the community. It shows mastery of a lot of different tech in this game, a lot of different skips, and this race was as hype as I was expecting, so.
Yeah, very, very, very nice race.
The good news is, for all of those who are shovelheads out there and are shovel boys in the community, we have more Shovel Knight action coming up this week, including a very hype race later on today by 2 of the commentators in here for some reason.
Hey guys.
Hello,
Hi.
hello.
But right now we're joined by Smoggy and Primorix. Let's go to Smoggy first. How you feel, man?
I got
By,
the
2 of the
two
commentators
splits.
in here
I'm
for some
happy about
reason.
that. But I had a decent run.
guys.
It wasn't the best run ever, but it was good enough.
You had that early death on Mole Knight there.
Yeah.
Which is unfortunate.
Yeah, what happened was,
You were trying to hit the blue guy and you just hit him a little
yeah,
too
exactly.
early.
Yeah, no, I did it too late actually.
Oh.
I did it
Yeah,
too
when
late.
you
I
mid-jump.
misjudged the jump. I'm not sure.
Yeah, I
But
think
I,
if you
uh,
jump too high, he hits
Yeah.
you,
Yeah.
die.
Mhm.
How about you, Primorix?
It was kind of disappointing that I missed Beetle 1 again. I mean, it's not something that I have a lot of trouble with in practice or even in runs outside of this, but for some reason here I just can't get it. But other than that, it wasn't a bad run. The only other kind of bad things were Spectre Knight and the Tinker fight also.
Yeah, I messed up Tinker as well in Boss Rush. I fell down twice.
That's pretty much what I did.
It's okay. Well, at least you have somewhere to direct your ire for races in Beetle 1.
Yeah.
And when in doubt, hashtag blame Muncha.
Yeah.
Always.
Speaking of Muncha, how does it feel to be in the winners bracket finals, Nogi?
Winners bracket. Oh, is it already the winners bracket final? I had no idea.
Yeah.
Well,
Yeah, next
semifinal.
match-
Is the second match completed?
No,
Yeah.
No, I mean,
that's
like-
going to be decided tonight. Tonight is going to be between Engage and Explode. The winner will go on to play against Muncha.
Okay.
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 And then that's going to be, you are in the winner bracket final, so.
Mhm.
Yeah. It's kind of weird that
It's
it
either
says
gonna be
semifinal.
me, Muncha, Explode, or Engage.
Exactly.
Nice.
Lots of good runners here at the end. We still have a lot to determine in the losers bracket still, so you know there's a lot of Shovel Knight still coming up.
Another interesting thing is there's been no real upsets lately.
But tonight is gonna be one.
He's already trash talking you. Oh my god.
I'm already doing it.
And it's the kind of hype I want, man.
Yeah.
Makes
To
my
be
job
honest,
more fun.
To be honest, I'm expecting to lose, but I'll do my best to not to. That's the idea.
I do want to apologize for everyone in the stream for the ear rape from Explode.
Oh yeah,
But
sorry.
he promised. He
No, wait.
promised he would say that.
Oh, I'm sorry, but I'm not. How to say that? I don't know, but yeah, the idea there.
I also
Definitely
want to
hype.
apologize for forgetting to mute the gold sound effect when I get a gold split. I forgot about that completely. So I think the whole stream heard pure gold screaming twice. So
I think that Primorix sound, so I'm not sure.
I'm pretty sure we
Okay.
had some craygasms at that point, though, so it's all good. Just,
good.
Speaking of the race, I think I'm going to go practice now. So have fun, guys.
but the good news is,
All right,
we've
thanks.
only
Good luck
got,
on your race. Engage
Yes,
and
good luck.
Explode.
good news is for your next Shovel Knight race, you only have to wait 3 hours. So 3 hours, but we still have plenty of more great content coming up on Speed Gaming. So
But yeah, I think I'm gonna do the same. Gonna go practice a bit.
All right, good luck.
Do that.
I'm gonna cry at the end of this race. I'm pretty sure. So I'm gonna be so stressed on the thing. Am I ahead? Am I behind? Or if I die 5 times like I did last time.
Oh.
but yes, if you're looking for great content, this is definitely the place to be this week for Shovel Knight. Today at 8 p.m. Eastern, tomorrow at 12:30 p.m. Eastern, and on Friday at 10 p.m. Eastern. 3 great Shovel Knight races coming up. So
A lot of stuff, definitely.
But from me, Kiyo Katsuki, Explode, Engage, Primorix, and Smoggy, we want to thank you for popping in and spending some time with us. And remember, guys, for Shovelry.
For Shovelry. Thank you.